Thank you very, very much, Madam Chair, for calling today's important hearing. Welcome to the committee. The lead from a February 15th story in AgriPulse reporting on a presentation made by USDA's chief economist at the Ag Outlook Forum read, quote, USDA is forecasting lower prices for most major crops this year as input costs remain elevated and farmers face growing export competition. A week earlier, end quote, USDA forecasted that net farm income would decrease by 27.1% or $43.1 billion when adjusted for inflation over the last year. When you consider that since 2022, inflation-adjusted net farm income has dropped by $80 billion, this will be the largest two-year decline in net farm income of all time. We welcome you back to the committee, and as we continue our work to reauthorize the Farm Bill, we are interested in your perspective on the challenges in the farm economy. As part of our efforts to write a new Farm Bill, we've been to numerous states across the country, and I visited with hundreds of farmers, as has the chair. What I've heard from our nation's farmers and ranchers is that they're very concerned. Specifically, they're challenged by persistently high and historic inflation, both on and off the farm, stubbornly high interest rates, burdensome regulations, record large trade deficits in agriculture, and most importantly of all, rapidly declining commodity prices and farm incomes that will make these next 5 years some of the most challenging in their lives. Compared to last year, all sectors of agriculture and all areas of the country will see lower incomes in 2024. Some have pointed to a 20-year average of farm income as evidence that the farm economy is healthy. And we should talk about a 20-year averages because current interest expenses are nearly double that average. Likewise, input costs are 10% above the 20-year average. So while we hear talk of net farm income being above or near the 20-year average, it's often not accompanied by those data points that reinforce the tight margins under which farmers operate. I don't know why, for some, a 20-year average income is acceptable for farmers, but it isn't for other workers. When there were labor strikes recently, I don't remember the administration calling for a 20-year average wages for workers. But for farmers, this is supposed to be okay. When I'm talking to producers from across the country, they are sharing their concerns that they now must use their land and other assets as collateral to borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars to put a crop in the ground or care for livestock, while knowing they will earn less money. Many are wondering if it's worth it. Typically, the rate of return on farm assets is less than 2%. You can get 2.5 times that earning in any CD. This is particularly true for small and mid-sized farms, the very type of family operations that has been put so much emphasis on. I'm concerned about their viability as well. When I grew up, we had more dairies in my home county than we currently have in the entire state of Arkansas. That loss of population impacts the local economy, our schools, our hospitals, and makes life in rural America less desirable. I've seen that as I've traveled through Arkansas' 75 counties. But if we truly care about rural communities and our farm and ranch families, farming at all scales must be economically viable, and we must provide a safety net that works. That is why I've called for in the next Farm Bill, and I believe that is what I've called for in the next Farm Bill, and I believe that is the very least that we can do for our farmers. The administration can be doing more to ease the worries in farm country. Its regulatory agenda has made crop protection tools less available and added more uncertainty for our farmers. I'm troubled like things like ERP2, 30 by 30, and the lack of leadership when it comes to trade. All of these decisions tell me that our farmers' concerns are not being heard at the executive branch. I do believe in the next Farm Bill, a $1.5 trillion Farm Bill, we have the opportunity to make things right for farmers, rural communities, and those in need. But it takes a commitment for all of us to work together towards these very worthy goals. No one in the history of this committee has said that passing a Farm Bill is an easy lift, but it's something that this committee, with the help of previous administrations, has come together to accomplish time and time again. I do not believe that this Farm Bill should be any different. I hope today's hearing will shed more light on how USDA can be a partner to accomplish these goals. Thank you, Madam Chair.